I got one idea that I'm especially psyched out of my mind about. You know, it's one of those ideas where you're just like, yes!
Dave? Dave Flynn?
On the radio!
Hold on to your butts.
Hey there, welcome to Dave Flynn on the radio, the number one blogcast on the internet. I'm Dave Flynn, and since reading is hard, I'm going to do it for you. Today, we are talking about trust, and the fact is, trust is not built on charm. It is built on results. This episode's going to help you spot the difference between a solicitation and a solution. Slick pitches, steak dinners, perfect PowerPoints. They might get you attention, but they won't get you trust. And I'm going to show you why shipping a real solution with results beats those big promises. We'll draw on a few lessons, the cautionary tale of Elizabeth Holmes and Theranos, the bombastic idealist Alex Karp and Palantir, and the once trusted solution-oriented Apple and their slide towards solicitation over the past few years. This is a section that I actually edited out of my upcoming book on trust, but now, after reading it a few more times into the old microphone, I kind of like it. I might find a home for it, but let me know what you think. You can find more stories and essays like this at winwithflynn.com. But if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's jump into the show. We play software. Trust isn't built on charm, it's built on results. Yet look around and you'll see the opposite everywhere. Slick presentations win over working prototypes. Polished pitches beat proven products. That's a tongue twister. The art of solicitation has become so sophisticated, so cinematic, it's often mistaken for the solution itself. Alan Watts said, "A menu is very useful, but it's no substitute for the dinner. A guidebook is an admirable tool, but it's hardly to be mistaken for the journey." Our decisions get tossed around by invisible inputs that have nothing to do with quality or value. A well-targeted solicitation makes deposits in your emotional piggy bank, not your logical one, until eventually it cracks wide open. But that's closer to lust than love. It's influence, not trust. The Theranos trap. Elizabeth Holmes understood this perfectly. She sold a very specific product to a very specific niche. Old, rich men. And what do old rich men want more than anything? To live longer, to get richer, to extend their prime just a bit. Theranos promised both. With just a single drop of blood, the Edison would give patients a full diagnostic screening. It would be easy, even pleasurable, to catch diseases early. Outsmart the Reaper. Rupert Murdoch and George Shultz cut checks. Henry Kissinger did too. At 91, he told The New Yorker, "She has sort of an ethereal quality. That is to say, she looks like 19. And you say to yourself, how is she ever going to run this? She does so," he said, "by intellectual dominance. She knows the subject." But dominance over whom? And what subject exactly? Excluding Holmes, the board was 100% male, with an average age of 76. Schultz was 93. The Edison was science fiction. And the biggest buyers of science fiction are those looking for something to believe. They invested their time and money, but did they trust Holmes? The old-fashioned way to build trust is through track record. Say what you'll do and do what you'll say. Integrity, reliability. That's not what these investors were using. Theranos was a proxy for what these old rich men wanted to be true. But that's not trust. It's trust-lite, a low-level, give them the benefit of the doubt kind of faith. typically reserved for the ice cream man or the Uber driver, not million-dollar checks. The counter example. This is exactly what Alex Karp, the eccentric CEO of Palantir, rails against. He's focused on product over promotion. He says, clients are tired of these damn steak dinners and golf. They want to see products that actually work. I agree with him. What he's tired of is the sales team that's all hat, no cattle. Slick PowerPoints, great steak dinners, empty calories. Karp said, we're bad at slick PowerPoints. We're even worse at steak dinners. He said, we don't play golf, we play software. And I love that line. That sounds idealistic, maybe even naive, but it cuts to the core. You don't build trust by entertaining somebody. You build it by helping them solve a problem. Too often, it's not the best product that wins, it's the best campaign. Instead of the best solution, it's those sharp knives and steak dinners. And don't fool yourself, the knives aren't for your fillet. When good companies go bad, even companies that built their reputation on solutions can fall into the solicitation trap. Take Apple, once the gold standard of show, don't tell. At WWDC in 2024, they promised a revolutionary Siri that could read personal context and take real action across your apps. The demo video showed Siri pulling TV recommendations from old texts, organizing photos with a single request. When journalists asked to try it, Apple said no. Why would they say no? Because it wasn't a demo. It wasn't even a prototype. It was just a concept video. They ran national TV ads pushing those features for iPhone 16. Then they quietly pulled the ads when the features were delayed indefinitely. They weren't selling a product, they were selling a promise. It was vaporware. Solicitation dressed up as a solution. Like Holmes, they were hopeful they could build what they dreamed up, but hope is not a strategy. This pattern, promising first, building later, reveals the difference between solutions and solicitation. Solutions versus solicitation. What happens at those dinners and rounds of golf Karp despises? Those interactions can shape trust too when they're used well. When they build understanding and foster transparency, they can accelerate solutions. But too often, they're not about clarity. They're about currying favor and gaining influence. Birthdays and baby names, likability and leverage, not trust. Solicitation asks people to trust proxies. Your presentation, your credentials, your charm. A few drinks and a round of golf can breed reciprocity. But shortcuts like social proof and status aren't trust. They're influence masquerading as the real thing. Solutions let people trust results. Karp is, by his own admission, an idealist. He believes that over time, if he makes the best software, he will succeed. I can't speak to Palantir's technology. It's way over my head. But his strategy is one I agree with. Not simply because of the product, but because of the compounding effects of producing it. At the end of the day, none of those proxies matter if the thing doesn't solve your problem, if it doesn't work. Shipping solutions, even in small increments, compound into trust. The dinner might get you in the door. The solution is what's going to keep you there. There we have it. That's the pod. Thank you for listening. If you like what you hear, please share it with a friend. Give it a thumbs up. And if you've got a few extra seconds, give it a 5-star review on Apple or Spotify or wherever you are listening. The engagement will make you feel so good, and it'll help other people find the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
All right, there you go, America. I love you. I'm proud of you. I mean it. We gotta go. This is great.